Hey everybody, it's Janice with Creating Through Chaos, and I'm going to start this project off with this little tiny sign that I got at Dollar General for $1. And I'm going to pop the back off and pull it right out of its frame. And then I kind of peeled off the excess paper, and then I am going to spray it down with some water, and then I let it sit, and then I just scraped the rest off. I actually used this little Cricut scraper that I got at Dollar Tree. It worked really well. So once I had the majority of the loose paper off, I'm just going to spray it all down. And then I just let it sit for a few minutes and soak in, and then used my scraper and just scraped off the rest of the paper. And it actually went really easily. Once I had it all cleaned up, I wiped it down and let it dry. And now I'm going to take the frame and I'm going to sand off all the paper that I was sticking out on the edges and just give the whole thing just a good sand so that my paint will stick well. Use my little ladybug vacuum to clean up my mess. Once I have that all cleaned up, I'm going to paint the frame of this black. And I did that in 2 coats. And I just used black acrylic paint. You can use chalk paint or whatever you have on hand. Once that was all dry, I'm going to paint that backing with a couple of coats of white paint. Again, chalk paint or acrylic paint works fine here. I usually use folk art or deco art acrylic paint if I'm using any acrylic paint at all. I don't really care for any other brands. I think those two are the superior brands of acrylic paint. So once I have that all painted and it's all dry, I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to pencil out a snowman face. So I'm going to do his eyes, give him some eyebrows, do his nose, and then I'm going to give him a mouth. Just a squiggly line and then 2 little half circles on the ends. Once I have that all done, I am going to take some pink, like a burgundy color, and give him some rosy cheeks. And just kind of dry brush that on. The brush is very dry and not super wet. And then I added some more. I wanted them to be nice and dark. Once I had that all on, I'm going to take a thin brush and I'm going to paint on his mouth. So just follow the line that I made with my pencil. Go all the way around and back up to the other side. And once I have the mouth all finished, I'm going to take that same brush and I'm just going to go and do his eyes. So I basically kind of go around the edges and then I fill it in. As I go, I'm going to repeat the same process on the other eye. You don't want a lot of paint on your paintbrush with this. So you kind of put it in the paint and then kind of wipe a little bit off. And then just fill in once you've lined out where you had your pencil marks. I have the eyes done, so now I'm going to do the eyebrows. And just add the lines right over the lines that I already had. Now I'm going to take a different brush, but a very thin brush at the same time, and I am going to fill in his nose. So just kind of go around. As I go around, I fill in. You want to just kind of drag the paint up. Make sure that you're not leaving any white spots so that none of the white is showing through. And once you have one coat on, if you feel like it needs another coat, then do another coat. But don't try and put all the paint on at once. You want to do this in steps. So once you get all the paint on, kind of spread it all around. Make sure it's not real thick and chunky in any spots. And how cute is that little snowman face? I love it. Next, I'm going to take that liner brush that I did all the black with. I'm going to give 2 lines of white on either side of his eyes. I'm just using a very little bit of paint, making sure that they came out good. Give him a couple of dots for either one of his eyes. So I'm just going to use this little stylus thing that I got from Dollar Tree. Pop 2 little white dots in his eyes. Next, I'm going to take some white paint and a very thin brush, and I'm just going to add some lines on his nose in white to kind of give it the appearance of a carrot. And once this is all dry, I'm going to cover the whole thing in Enchanted Shimmer. And it's basically just a glitter paint. You can get it at Michael's, Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure if Joann's has it, but that is where I got mine, was at Hobby Lobby. And it kind of just gives it a nice sparkly appearance. So once that was all dry, I'm going to glue my backing right back onto the frame. You want to make sure you have it lined up really well. Make sure there's no excess glue hanging out on either side. And how cute is this? As you can see, the backing doesn't match the frame, so I'm going to go around and paint the edge of that backing now that I have it in my frame with some black paint. And then this is where I also paint the back. You don't have to paint the back, but on some of my projects, or most of my projects, I try and finish the back. Sometimes that just doesn't happen though. So as you can see, I'm making it so the backing matches the frame, so it's not that white from when we painted the snowman. And again, like I said, I just kind of threw a coat of black paint on the back. Now that I have it all painted and it's all dry, I grabbed these Scrabble letters that I had gotten at Dollar Tree, and I spelt out the word snow. And ironically, they come in a black and white pack of Scrabble letters, and all of the ones to spell snow were all white, so it kind of worked out perfectly. So I'm just going to kind of arrange them on the side here, on the left side, and then I'm just going to glue them into place. And I kind of did them like a little bit wonky. I didn't want them to be completely straight. And you want to make sure that you leave a space at the bottom, that your W is high enough so that you can set this flat and that the W is not preventing it from standing. So make sure that that's up above the bottom of the sign. I just glued those all on, and look how super cute he's turning out. I absolutely love this. This is going to look so cute in like a tiered tray. So now that I have all of my letters on, see, as you can see, I was making sure that it still stands. I'm going to add this little black and white bow to the top. And you don't have to do this part, but I felt like it was missing something. So I put a bow on. I'm not a big bow fan, but I thought this was cute, and it does end up turning out super cute after. And then once I had the bow on, I just kind of trimmed it to make sure it wasn't covering, like, you know, his face or anything. Or actually, now it's kind of looking like a girl with the bow, so I'm not really sure. And then I added a little snowflake to the front, and that is it. I think this turned out so super cute. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it inspires you to make one. And as always, don't forget to spread the chaos.